stand? Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning thanking you for all your great blessings to us. We acknowledge that you, as the true living God, the creator, the great creator of all things, the one who holds our very breath in your hands. Lord, we lift up the families of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Be near to every mother and father whose hearts feel shattered. Strengthen the spouses and the children who must now walk forward with an empty space behind them. We pray for our leaders that you would grant them the wisdom, discernment, humility, and decisions that honor you and protect lives. Where there is fear, let there be peace prevail. Let mercy cover. In you we live and move and have our being. We pray for our leadership, for our governor, our state, our local officials. Lord, give them wisdom to face their unique challenges. May they have the insights then into the needs of the communities within this country and discernment to make the right and best decisions. I thank you for the laws that keep all of us safe and that help govern our land and to bring us peace. Lord, bless this meeting, the county board today. I pray that you may be glorified in all that is done here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marla, please call the roll.
Karen Brethauer. Here. Whitehurst.
Here.
Pam Lancaster.
Present.
Gary Quant.
Here.
Ron Peterson.
Here.
Jane Richardson. Here. Scott Sorensen.
Here.
Notice of the open meeting law. This is a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. The requirements for an open meeting are posted on the door to my left, and notices are on the front table for your information. Request to reserve time. If anyone in the audience has a request to reserve time to speak on a specific agenda item, please come forward at this time. Seeing none, we will have verified the affidavit of publication. I would also note that we won't necessarily take things in the order that they appear on the agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2026 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2026 meeting along with the following consent agenda items. Number 5A, under Public Works, discussion and possible action to send a letter of support for the Husker Highway resurfacing project to Senators Fisher and Congressman Smith. Number 10, received the report from the Nebraska Department of Ag regarding the Hall County weed program. Number 12, the county treasurer place on file the report for public tax sales for delinquent 2024 real estate taxes, and also D, place on file the return of the public tax sale proceedings. 14, approved by weekly claims. 15, approved early claims. 15A, FNBO, credit card, public defender, $429.26. 15B, GI Utilities Department, all departments, $13,451.56. 15C, Sozo Family Services, Corrections, $10,572.92. 15D, Sozo Family Services, Opioid Fund, $3,200. E, Verizon, the election office, $39.94. F, Card Service Center, Road Department, $38.48. G, CenturyLink, Road Department, $163.47. H, GI Utilities Department, Road Department, $1,697.72. I, Southern Public Power District, Road Department, $568.94. J, Wood River Utilities, Road Department, $510.91. K, Connie Hine Chaplain, the Justice System, $4,000. And L, the Convention Visitors Bureau, lodging tax, $37,478.62. Number 16, the county office reports, county building department, Streer Museum minutes, Hall and Howard County juvenile diversion. 17, the Hall County Treasurer's miscellaneous receipts, and number 18, communications, which are not on the line.
I'll second Commissioner Sorensen's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes along with the following consent agenda items: 5A, 10, 12A and B, 14, 15A through L, 16, 17, and 18. Please vote.
All votes are cast. Uh-oh.
Everybody raise their hand, the vote's in
Yeah,
favor.
All in favor, 7 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, that's one of the items on the agenda. today.
Yes, it certainly is. Oh my gosh, this thing is really loose.
And, Mr. Chairman, before, I think it's, yeah, number 13, the closed session.
Oh,
I'll
look,
need
this
about
whole thing is
20
loose.
minutes to give people here that want to chat for.
Okay,
So just let me know when we're getting close and I'll
Okay.
text them.
okay. All right. Okay, the next item would be the Board of Equalization.
And moving on to Board of Equalization, roll call vote.
Second?
Karen Brettauer,
Yes.
Butch Hurst,
Yes.
Pam Lancaster,
Yes.
Gary Klein,
Yes.
Ron Peterson,
Yes.
Jane Richardson, Scott Sorensen.
Yes.
Okay.
All we have is just,
This notice of the open meeting law, this is a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. The requirements of an open meeting are posted on the door on my left. Notices are on the front table for your information. We have verified the affidavit of publication. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 24th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Equalization.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the February 24th Hull County Board of Equalization meeting.
Second?
All in favor, raise your hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Public participation, commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the Board of Equalization under public participation? Seeing none, move on to county assessor, the discussion and possible action to authorize the chair to sign tax correction notices 755 to 862.
I'll move we authorize the chair to sign tax correction notices 755 to 862.
I'll second.
How often do we audit the homestead? Because these were all homestead.
The majority of them are homestead exemptions that were adjusted.
How often?
I think that's done annually, because they all go to the state property tax division, and then, of course, they review them. No different than, just your, I send those to the property tax division every week after I do the minutes, yeah.
So like maybe your income changed in that year?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's
Or
what
the
I was
value of the
curious
home,
on.
The value of the home, whatever percentage it might be for that particular exemption for that individual.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Okay, so I need a motion.
There's a motion and a second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, is there any other new or unfinished business brought before the Board of Equalization? Seeing none, we will adjourn the Board of Equalization, move back into the Board of Commissioners. Public participation, commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items under the Board of Commissioners. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the board under public participation? Seeing none, I will go on to number 4, Mr. Klein, County Attorney.
Morning.
Good morning. I've got Vicki Kenny, the public defender. Her.
Do you want us to come up?
Yeah, come on up if you would, please. Ben Shanahan, who is the Hall County Bar Association chairman, and then Sydney Brown. What is her division? The division chief from the juvenile side of the public defender's office. There has been some discussion about having appointment of counsel automatically apply for every juvenile, both misdemeanor and felony charges. Now, I sent the board an email that kind of described what is required of a juvenile appointment in the state of Nebraska, and it's bifurcated. In the larger communities, the larger counties, you automatically get appointment of counsel for juveniles of both misdemeanor and traffic offenses and of felonies. In a county our size, you only get automatic appointment of juvenile counsel for felony offenses. In Buffalo County, they've made a decision to appoint juvenile defense attorneys for all juveniles, much like they do in Sarpy, Douglas, and Lancaster. And we are contemplating doing that here, but we recognize that this does impact to a limited degree the county and the county board and payments to attorneys who might be involved. Now, I'll let the public defender's office talk about their commitment to doing this, because mostly, this will impact them and their office. So how do you think that this is going to impact you, should we appoint attorneys to juveniles for misdemeanors as well as felonies? Because we're already obligated to an automatic appointment for felonies.
Correct, there's an automatic appointment for felonies and juveniles who fall under a certain age. I believe it's 13. If they're 13 and under, then we automatically appoint an attorney due just to their youth and not understanding the court system. 2 years ago, I was the only juvenile public defender, and I handled 431 cases in a year by myself. We're currently way under that number, so I do not believe that we would have to get out of a lot of those cases. I think the only cases we would have to get out of is if there was a conflict with another defendant that we had, or another youth that we had. So say we get a case and there's 2 people and they're co-defendants, we can't represent them, that's a conflict. Those would be the only cases that we would have to get out of. As of right now, I think only a small portion of the budget for private attorneys has been used. We're not getting out of that many cases currently, and we are now fully staffed in our juvenile division. We do have 2 attorneys. So I don't believe it would be a huge impact on our office. I do believe we'd be able to handle the amount of cases that we're getting if we were appointed on all cases automatically.
And I believe there's some value in efficiency in having juveniles, all juveniles, appointed representation. And maybe you could speak to that as well, but having an attorney and having the attorney help navigate these things for even misdemeanor juvenile offenses may create some efficiencies that we can all benefit from. What are your thoughts or comments about that particular portion of things?
Yes, I believe so. Judge McQuay and I were speaking the other day about how sometimes kids who waive the right to an attorney, they get put on court-supervised probation and they are required to just take a couple of classes. A lot of the time we're seeing them come back for a motion to revoke probation because they don't necessarily understand what classes they're supposed to take, how to navigate to get to those classes, and then our office is getting appointed anyway because they're back and they didn't fulfill the requirements of their probation. So I think it's definitely more efficient to have us at the beginning so that we can help them navigate through the court system and know what classes they're supposed to take, how to find those classes online, and just helping them through the process. A lot of the time they're back in front of the court for motions to revoke, and they wouldn't be if they had an attorney help them navigate, and we're getting appointed on those cases eventually anyway. So I think it just makes it smoother if we're appointed right away. We can get those kids that we know we're not going to see back if they're able to get through those simple tasks that the court's requiring them to do, and just get them through the first time and not have to see them back and in front of the court again.
Just for clarification, is there any method by which you find somebody to be eligible to use a public defender, or is everybody eligible to use a public defender?
Majority of juveniles are going to be eligible to use a public defender because they have no income, but most of the time the judge is basing it on the parent's income as well. So they are checking to see if the parents are actually indigent prior to appointing a public defender. So if they're not indigent, then they would not qualify for a public defender.
There's a scenario where the county may pay money that the county might not otherwise pay, and I'm here to assert that scenario is very small. But let's say, so this is for misdemeanor offenses only. So if a group of 5 kids goes and robs a bank, right? That's going to be steals a car. That's going to be a felony offense anyway. So they're going to get appointment of a juvenile attorney, and Sydney's office can only take one of those appointments. So 4 of them are going to get appointed an attorney anyway, right? That's already in law. The most common thing where you might see 3, 4, or 5 juveniles do something together at once that is a misdemeanor, fight at school or BB guns, shooting out windows. When somebody goes, we can't, for a theft, if you steal $200 and $500 and $1,000 and $1,500, you can smush those all together to become a felony offense. For criminal mischief, you cannot. So if I shoot out 25 windows, and I've had one where I prosecuted juveniles who went around shooting out 75 windows, and there were 4 of them in a car taking part in that, that may be a situation where one of the juveniles is automatically appointed to Sydney's office, but the other 3 would be appointed an attorney where they might not otherwise be appointed an attorney. Now, here's what happens is the court says, hey, do you want an attorney? And the juvenile and their parent would have to say, no, I really don't want an attorney. Let's just get this over with. That would be the scenario where the county would be paying for a juvenile attorney by an automatic appointment, where the juvenile might come in and say, yeah, I really don't want one. I assert to you that's such a rare time where a juvenile is not asking for an attorney when the court is talking with the juvenile, that I don't believe the county is going to be facing a situation where they pay for this juvenile attorney significantly more than they would otherwise do so. But there is that potential where a juvenile, one of these 5 juveniles all come in and they say, nah, I really just want to take care of this myself. And by this automatic appointment, the judge would say, well, you're going to get an attorney first. Very rarely do I see 5 juveniles come in and say, yeah, I don't want an attorney, let's just get this figured out and be done with it. More often than not, in my experience, the juveniles are asking for an attorney, are asking for court-appointed attorneys, and getting these attorneys anyway. So the automatic appointment of this, I don't believe, is going to be a significant potential risk to the county. I would think you guys would agree with me.
I would agree.
I would agree. I think the clerk magistrate ran the numbers, and maybe it was a small percentage that didn't ask for attorneys. But even despite that, the judges were of the opinion that it would be, if they would have asked for attorneys, it would have made county attorney's life simpler, it would have made the judge's life simpler, and it just drug things out longer than needed to be, and actually probably cost us more time and that type of thing by not having appointment to those ones that didn't request them.
Correct. If I'm remembering correctly, there was a total of 300 cases last year, and I think only 70 of them didn't ask for an attorney. So it's a very small percentage of the amount of cases that we're already getting where they're not asking for an attorney. And judge believes a lot of the time there's a conflict between whether the juvenile wants an attorney and the parent, and sometimes the parent overrules the juvenile, even though it's the juvenile's right to have an attorney. So in those cases, I know the judges are preferring that they get an attorney, and I know sometimes the parents can be very high-handed and overrule the juvenile when it comes to wanting an attorney or not. And typically, it's the juvenile's right whether they want an attorney, and so we just want to make sure that they can have one if they're wanting one, but it does make the process just a lot more seamless if they are having an attorney from the beginning.
Pam?
2 things. Number 1, what accounts do you believe for the drop in numbers? I mean, the drop in numbers will make a significant difference to us financially, and I know that, I mean, kids are, I was part of the group that supported and encouraged juvenile diversion, which I want to know how that works into this whole system too. But, so I believe in second chances for kids. I think this is, whatever. But when there's a financial impact, there's a financial impact. So I'd like to know what you attribute to the drop in numbers. So can we see that then rise, and then we'll need to hire another attorney? Is there?
I would tell you that our juvenile filings ebb and flow.
Okay, so we don't know.
We had, and I think we're in an ebb time, but we had that group of individuals. Kean Flores is one of them. We are working through Sid and I are working through an appeals process right now, but he and a group of juveniles spent a lot of our time and resources, and when they did really pretty serious things and we charged them as adults, I think juveniles recognize, wow, this is real. If we do some of these sorts of things, they may actually put me in prison. And that's what we did with a group of these juveniles, because they were firing guns and those sorts of things. And after that, we saw a significant decrease in the amount of juvenile filings and juvenile violent crime. And then after a while, inevitably, you're going to see an uptick. And I actually think we're starting into that uptick right now. But I don't have any rhyme or reason for the exact reasons why we have seen fewer filings over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years. I don't think it's going to be this low for a long time. When it comes to diversion, so my office, every referral or citation or even a juvenile intake that we get, we have to decide whether we're going to file charges or not on that juvenile. And if the juvenile has no other criminal history, they still will be diverted to our diversion program if they elect to take advantage of that. And that will also reduce our filings as well, because we don't ever file on that case. We send them to diversion, they successfully complete diversion, and then they never interact with the court system, which is the exact purpose for diversion. So they still have diversion eligible to them, and they are taking advantage of diversion as well.
Okay,
But I don't have a real good answer for why we are in a lull right now.
I think you gave me a good answer, because, I mean, the little bit that I don't interact, my grandkids are almost past the diversion, the first group, the second group are pretty small. So they're too small to be out and about without their parents. But the fact of the matter is, the little bit that I do hear from parents that have children that would be of concern of that age, and high school like that, these judges are tough. And I don't know if that's correct, but that's kind of the word. And if that's true, that might be a good thing. That if the word's out there that, hey, you're not going to get away with, doing foolish things, and there's some you have to be accountable for your deeds, that sort of thing. That's good. I'm pleased with that. I don't know if that's it. I was just curious. So, but it makes, what you said really makes more sense, that, that something's taken place that causes the drop, but it will eventually come back. So we need to be somewhat prepared for the fact that if we can, agree that this is a great idea, this is the way we want to go, we may in time need another juvenile attorney. I mean, you can't do it alone. I mean, or with one other person.
Well, there's normally just two of us, but we're at half the numbers that we were at, and I was handling twice as many by myself. So I think with two of us, I think that won't be an issue, because in 2023 we had 430 cases, and I was doing in the year, and I did all of those alone. And now we have two of us, and we have half of the amount of juvenile cases. So I think even if we spike back up to that 430 number, I think we're going to be perfectly fine, because there are two of us in the office now.
You're very good.
Okay, Gary?
Will this affect the parents' responsibility, having an attorney appointed for them right off the bat?
I don't think it will. The parents are always involved with what the juvenile does, but it is the juvenile who gets the representation, not the parent. And while I have some opinions about that to a certain degree, ultimately the Supreme Court has weighed in the state of Nebraska, and it is the juvenile who's being represented. So the appointment goes to the juvenile. The parents can be involved, and Sid does a good job of talking through it with the juvenile and the parent, but ultimately it's the juvenile who needs the representation, not the parent.
Jane?
Just a quick question, and for the general public in general, about how appointments work. So first, the appointment will come from the public defender's office. If any of them have a conflict, then it goes to the private sector.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, so in a case that, with 5 juveniles shooting out windows, the first juvenile would come in, and the court would automatically appoint somebody, and that would be the public defender's office. And then it would be my responsibility to say, Judge, for the second juvenile, this juvenile relates to this other juvenile, and they've already got the public defender's office, so we need you to appoint a private attorney, in like Mr. Shanahan, or somebody along those lines, and then somebody else would be appointed. And then the third juvenile, same thing, public defender, so they'd appoint a different one. But that is how that goes, yes.
But usually, we have conflict checks, and if Marty's office doesn't catch it on the initial appointment, then we catch it right away, and we have to get out of it. But I would say over the last 2 years, cases like that have been
Very rare.
like, I went under 20 each year.
Oh, wow.
That's correct. And we have not withdrawn for excessive caseload, but if there are ones like this that have multiple individuals, I would say under 20 per year, we have to withdraw from.
So first of all, I want to just thank you all for being here and explaining this to us, because I mean, I don't know this stuff. And I appreciate what you're doing and how you're trying to look after our youth. The other thing is, with all of the explanation, it appears to me as though, from the financial side, which is something we have to be concerned about, it looks like we're in good shape for the, as far, you know, for the near future, anyway. So I appreciate all of the information. Thank you very much. And thank you, Jane, that was a good point.
I think overall, there's a potential, and that's what we have to, as a county attorney, trying to advise the board and making sure the board understands, there's a potential for some expense that wouldn't necessarily be there if the appointment wasn't automatic. I just don't believe, and we've discussed this, we just don't believe that that's a significant risk to the county. I just don't believe that will be the case. But we recognize this is a county decision because the statute doesn't require the county to do this. We're asking for permission for our court staff, our court process, to do this automatic appointment like they do in Lincoln. I mean, we're more like Sarpy than we are most of these small counties. And they're doing that. It's not required, but I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the appointment.
Couple quick questions. Will this be a new addition, a full-time employee, and will it have any impact to the budget?
It will not be a full-time employee. The budgetary impact, I would assert to you, it won't change anything that we're doing. It'll still be the appointment of counsel. We'd pay that the normal way. I don't think there will be a lot of impact to our budget. And that is why we're bringing it to the
And
board.
we already
because
have it in the budget for
there-
that.
Yeah, it's already a line item in the budget. It's just a matter of making it automatic as opposed to doing the inquiry that the judges typically do for misdemeanor offenses.
And I think the remark was made that just a small portion of that line item had been used this year. so-
Correct, and speaking with the judge, with the magistrate, she said as of end of February, we had only used 38% of that budget, so we're nowhere close to maxing out on that line item.
I'll move that Hall County moves forward with appointing automatic counsel for juveniles who committed acts other than traffic offenses.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, guys.
Well,
Like the closed session. I mean, it's just, have them come, they have to come across that.
yeah,
So I should let them know that
yeah,
soon.
yeah. Okay, Don?
Morning.
Good morning.
We took A on consent, however, I would say probably need to have somebody fill in the missing information on the letter that was in the packet, so
Okay,
it
Okay.
was a generic letter for the congressman.
for
and
both of them, yes,
senator.
yes. Okay.
Yeah, if you can get that prepared, and then I'll sign it. if we-
That will work.
Okay.
Why we're discussing that? It started out going after the Engelman right-hand turn lane. I got an estimate from the engineer at $222,000. We go out for bids, that's for concrete culverts put under it, the dirt work, asphalt over it. When we called in on the phone and had the conference with Jody and Jenna, first thing Jody said is that really isn't enough to qualify to go after for this grant with Fisher and Adrian Smith. So then we switched gears, and that's why we came back to the Husker project. We have 8 miles that we're trying to get money to resurface, to mill and fill, and that came up with $2.6 million for a total. They thought that would better qualify to go after the money this way. So that's why we switched gears. I have, just from the board meeting, I've got, I think, 6 letters of support for the right-hand turn lane already. So that's why I thought we need to address this, that's why, right now, when they get through, it will be the end of March, so probably in April, I will start talking again to see if we can find any money on that one. But we needed to switch gears to a more financial, larger one that they, actually, if they go after it, they'd want over $1 million on those. So that's, I hope we get that one. That would help immensely. It's the 6 miles on the other side of Highway 11 and the 2 in between, the ones that we go out for bids for next board meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow night, to meet with Hull County Regional Planning for the 1 and 6, and then the 1 and 6 will come to you guys the 24th. After that meeting, I have it in here. We have May weather in March. We're done crack sealing and we are moving on. We're going to start regrading some miles of road. It's early. The one we're starting on is Wood River down by Engelman. It's a sand-based road. It is dry enough that we're having problems with the base on that. So that's where we're going to haul in some dirt, mix it, and try to shape that road up. I said earlier, it's still winter, but winter's gone. We're moving into do full projects on miles. We did have a safety meeting yesterday with the 2 state fire marshals. We talked about fiber optic. We talked about gas lines. Said we have had a couple incidents with gas lines. We're working with them, talking on trying to get better understanding so everybody understands the one call a little better. It has been, the gas company has worked with us on both of the projects, situations and everything, but it's one of those, it was time to bring in fire marshal to actually walk through with all the employees to make them realize it's for their safety, that they need to pay attention when they hit those plastic strips, marker strips. That's where they're supposed to stop. Then we call the utility company and work out with them. On this instance, they potholed, they knew where the gas line was, and they dug clear down to the gas line. So that's what we want to avoid. If we have that, we can talk with the gas company or utilities and have them move their lines before we proceed on our project. So it's getting better. The flashing light is up on Gun Barrel. They put it up yesterday. So that helps. We will start meeting with the state again, the contractors on the Highway 30 bypass. They're starting that back up. They're getting ready to fire back up and do more work on them. So the cities, city roads department, city utilities, the state department, engineering, both contractors, everyone's involved in those meetings. So those start up again when they're going. And a reminder, Saturday, April 11th is the tire recycling from 8 a.m. till noon. So that's coming up too. We've had a few calls and we will put out some flyers in some of the local gas stations and everywhere too. So, and the paper, we put it in a couple papers.
Okay, very good.
Is there a project coming up where Capitol Avenue goes out onto Highway 30 on East Capitol Avenue? Is there a project coming up with that, with some turn lanes coming up?
Where Capitol hits Highway 30.
Over there by Aurora
East.
Phillips.
Oh, out, we don't have anything. I know that's where the city talked about when they had the trains blocking the crossings.
But I think you and I went to a meeting and they were talking about some turn lanes on Highway 30 that they were gonna be putting.
So that
in
would
for
be
safety.
state.
Yeah, but I don't think that's something that's imminent.
It's, okay, but they were talking about it.
Yeah, I think those are some of the plans. They were also talking about the bypass, which is what, 5, 10
out
years
there.
out.
Yeah, the bypass that you put in for to try to get a designated area.
Yeah.
Everybody working well with the ditches? Or you get pretty much everybody happy? Run it.
Everybody,
Fix.
We did have an incident, sorry, not an incident. There was a couple of pivot stops that are, one was on a road that has a curve in it. I did not know exactly where the right-of-way was, so I called up Scott, the county surveyor, and had him put out some marks before we addressed it, so everyone knows where the right-of-way is before I addressed it. And it has been addressed already without any other notification, just the right-of-way markers started the conversation.
Thank you.
So, and one of the pivot end stops has been removed already. It was, so it's, So the conversations are going on out there. I will say that.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's easier to have Scott, he works with us. When we're doing some of this, if we don't know where the right of way is, we call him and he marks it out, and that helps a lot. That way, there is no guesswork. So he's taking care of a lot of that, so.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? You and I talked.
Yes.
I wasn't at the last board meeting because I had a trial 2 board meetings ago. I asserted to the board that with regard to the right-of-way and the clearing of the right-of-way, that we were treating every landowner the same. I wasn't informed that we are doing things a little differently than that, and Don has indicated that he is focusing on.
We did, and yes.
Did you
I
tell
addressed,
them at
yes,
the last
I
board
addressed
meeting?
that with the board, that we went after the fences first. I
Okay.
prioritized, and we've got the brush piles taken care of and moved, but we prioritized the fences and equipment first.
I didn't realize that was what Don had. He's got a right to do that, certainly. But I said we're just any right of way. So I misinformed the board at the last time I was here, and I apologize for that, and the public as well. I didn't recognize that they were doing that. It's a good strategy that Don has decided to put in place, but I misinformed the board. I said that we were just looking at the right of way. So I just want to make sure that I'm transparent with the public and with the board that I didn't realize that Don had prioritized certain things first, but it makes complete sense to me to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that I owned up to the fact that I did not have it right when I last addressed the board.
And that's, like I said, we had so many going on that we had to find out the landowners, and they were absentee. Just this morning, I did get a call back from someone. I left a message last night and this morning. Said, everybody's pretty good about returning phone calls and everything, so it's getting out there.
And we understood that it wasn't gonna happen overnight, but we wanted to make sure everybody was treated the same and that we were headed in the right direction.
And the one I just called is one that they had just put up the fence last week, so it's still ongoing. That's a nice thing. People are beginning to realize, and also other people say something when they see it, and we're trying to address them on case by case as soon as we find them and everything, so.
Okay.
Don, last thing, do you want to inform or warn the board on M80?
M80
No
is
decision
really,
to be made today, but probably in 2 weeks, we're gonna have a quote back, I'm guessing, so.
really nice machine. It is one of the older motor graders. It is we have 3 all-wheel drive, I should say six-wheel drive machines, number 90, number 80, and number 70. Number 90 is the newer one of the ones with the joystick. The other 2 are older controls with the old rack type controls. The transmission was not working in 3 of the gears on patrol number 80. We took it to Caterpillar. They went through that transmission a little over 3 years ago. But when they did the work, they did not, some of the clutch plates and stuff inside the transmission were in tolerance. So they did not replace them. Now, this is my guess, the ones that were within tolerance, some of the glue has came loose because it filled the filters with material on the transmission, so now they have to go through the transmission. It's going to run about 38 to 40,000 for the transmission. The question came up, and that's something that I said, you guys will get to make the decision. Rich is going to talk. They're that far into it, they've got it completely tore apart. Rich is wondering if the county wants to go ahead and just redo the machine. He said we're over a third of the way there. They would redo the motor, and I don't know what else. But that's something that I told Rich to get a cost estimate on. We've got it there. This is a machine that we take out on grading projects. We run the disc, and it also, in the wintertime, we can put a snow wing on it.
If it ever snows, it's a big pusher. I know.
Yeah, you're not going to get ahead. So this is a forewarning. Like I said, we are doing the transmission. We had to do that. When they get back to us on a price, on what it's going to cost to redo the rest of the machine, I think that's when you need to talk to decide if we go ahead and go farther or we just wait on it. But till we get a cost estimate, I don't know, but that's where we're at with it. Okay,
Just a
thank
warning
you.
for a couple weeks from now, don't be surprised if there's an action item for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dune?
Morning. Good to see everybody this morning. On the first thing on the agenda I have is the discussion on the courthouse furniture items to be moved and new purchases. I've made a list of things that we're going to have to get new. One is, well, I'll just start with the judges. One district judge needs a new desk. 3 county judges need new desks. 4 bailiffs in the district's offices, 2 on each side, Judge Lee and Judge Butler, need new desks. 2 new desks for the county court reporters for the 2 we have. 1 jury room for the district. This is the second one here, the jury room I put down the jury room for the county, and the reason I put that down is the county in their current jury room has new furniture, and they didn't ask for any, but in the old building, there is another county courtroom, and it will need someday new or jury room furniture. So that's a decision the county board's going to have to make on what that. Now, that's the furniture I know now that needs to be replaced or new.
Can we get that list?
Yeah, I'll get it up for you.
That'd be good.
Get a copy of it for you.
I don't think we had it.
No, you don't have it.
Yeah.
I didn't get
And if
it.
there's an estimate, that'd be good too.
I didn't get it all typed up, right, because Janet didn't get, no, I didn't get it all typed up. I'll have it. They have 3 break rooms. Now, I don't know how you want to furnish those on that, because they'll need tables and chairs and different things like that, but I'll just put that out there. I won't list them. Refrigerators and stuff. The things that need to be moved will basically be files, file cabinets, shelving for files will have to be moved. They're keeping the same shelving, keeping the same file cabinets. They have a rolling file cabinet in the district clerk's area. That's fairly new, so that'll be moved. I don't know about the electriver they have in the vault. It's pretty old. I know they've had some problems with it, but I'll leave that up to the board to decide whether to move that or if they even want to move it. They may not want to move, they may not want another electriver. They like the rolling files, so that's there. And then there's bookshelves. They have some antique bookshelves they like to keep in their new offices, which is fine. They originally came from the old courthouse, and they like them and they want to keep them, so that'll be moved. And that kind of stuff. The stuff around their offices, they have certain tables in their offices and stuff they'll keep and stuff. So miscellaneous stuff. So I don't think, there may be some more stuff coming down the line. I don't know at this time. It's kind of hard to tell on this type of thing. That pretty much follows the stuff there.
And there's a line item. Isn't there a line item for the project for new furniture? Or not?
I'd have to check on that.
I thought
I thought there
we
was.
did have, but anyway, we can, I mean.
It is outside of the contract with
Okay,
chief
okay,
because it's not part of
Then-
the
Okay, but it is
contract.
part of the project.
It's part of the project,
But just outside,
yeah.
Outside.
But I thought we'd made some.
The other
allowance.
thing is, excuse me for interrupting.
No, I'm sorry, I included it out.
As you know, we did a diagram for the county clerk and the district clerk's office, and that's how they're building the offices for them on the first floor. And we had the furniture designed for that. We had a furniture company, All Makes Furniture Company, come up with the design. And they understand that we have to bid that furniture. So I spoke with them, and he says if we're gonna bid any furniture for that building, and we plan on putting it in there in the spring, which is, that building will be done in the spring. He said to bid it out advertise the bids around Thanksgiving, for them due back on the second board meeting in December. And that way it gives us vendors who want to bid on the furniture time to meet with the people, see the plans, and go from there. So that's just, I wrote that down, made a note of it, so we could keep that in our minds. Okay?
All right.
Very good. Budget year, we put some money in for some judges' furniture.
Well, we'll just have to go through and figure out where, you know, where all that is and but if it can come from the project funds, that would be better. But anyway. Okay,
That's it on the furniture for today.
okay.
I'll have this all typed up for you and
Thanks.
emailed out.
Okay.
Okay?
Our voting board?
Voting board.
Might be worth a conversation.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
The little switches are probably about like the inside of the pin. They're dual amps. And we can get them, but the rest of the switches are the same way, and if one goes wrong. Marla's been working with Brandon and up there with the IT, and I guess they've got a plan as far as a simple board and make things easy. As long as Marla can work with it and it works for the board, I don't have a problem with moving forward with a new board.
Something that works. It'd be
Something
really
that works,
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So with the
Fine with me.
proposed program in the packet, are we gonna need to also get some kind of a cheap television screen to have it up on
So
the wall?
which
or
voting system are you talking about? The
that's
one,
in the packet?
The
The ones
Meridian
that-
that you gave
the
me,
Meridian?
that you gave us a couple weeks ago.
I'll have to find out what all's included with that. I think that we may have to get a TV, but I don't.
Yeah, we
I'm just curious
notes
about
it.
the additional costs other than the system itself. I'm sure there's gonna be additional costs, but I think the initial quote was for just under $5,000.
Yeah.
4850, yeah.
And I know we discussed this probably 3 years ago about doing it, and probably 2 years ago, and 1 year ago. It seems like we did it every year, and I guess it's time that we finally bite the bullet and do it, and I think we need to move forward with it.
Well, then make the motion.
The budget, in the equipment and improvement
Mhm.
of 15,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want your vote to count, you better vote for it.
So, I was gonna say, if Gary's willing to go with it, I mean, you know, he was gonna replace the switches, it's too big a task to redo what we've had here for the last 50 years, so, I would certainly make a motion that we move, that we move forward, just simply that we move forward with the new county board voting system. And then Dune can come back with us with all the estimates, where the money's coming from, blah, blah. How's that?
The-
Thank
The
you.
system's been around since the mid-80s, so.
Okay.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
All in favor? 7 yes, thank you.
Okay, we got that done.
Arthur?
Okay. Updates. This might take a while. Last Wednesday, we lost power out at the house. I had Middleton Electric come in, and we found a damaged meter, number one. Number two, we thought we'd have to replace the whole line from the house, from the meter to the house. They went under the house to check out the wiring and found the problem under the house. It's a good thing they found it, because we probably could have had a fire. And they fixed it, got it repaired. The city came out and put in a brand-new meter, and we're up and going that way. The bad news was, now, underneath the house, you know, the sewer line runs under there. and it was leaking. I don't know how long it's been leaking. I check it every month, so I know it hasn't been leaking that long. So I called in O'Hara Plumbing, and they came in on Friday, and we had to, we spent a couple nights in the hotel because we didn't have sewer. And they fixed the sewer and got it going again. But, here's the but. Going into the foundation of the building, there's a copper elbow there that they said is going to need replaced. It's not leaking right now, but I've got to keep a close eye on it. They said they would want to wait until it dries out a little bit more underneath the house so that they can replace that easier, so to speak. But if it fails, I'll have to replace it. So I'm checking it on a regular basis, but I just wanted to give you the heads up on that.
Is that on city sewer?
No, it's on the,
Septic tank?
well, it's on city sewer, but it has a pump outside. I think what happened is the pump failed about a week ago, and I think pressure built up, which caused the breakage of the pipe. Sometimes we don't, the alarm didn't work on the pump, and sometimes it doesn't give us gap warning until the toilet overflows. So, but we got it all cleaned up, got it all fixed up, got the new pump in, and we're back up and going again. So, just so you know what's happened with the house.
I didn't think it'd been that many years ago we replaced all those electric lines.
I don't think we've replaced any since I've been there. Any electric lines going into the house. These are the old original lines, according to Middleton's.
Okay.
So, but they're in good shape, don't get me wrong. You're just under the house where they spliced in to go up into the panel. They bring it in and splice it. This right there was a bad spot for some reason. And they got that fixed. But that's been fixed. I wanted to bring this up a little bit at the Veterans Park. I've been getting a lot of calls from the veterans people out there, and not that I mind it, but they have a grub problem out there, and they have a ground squirrel problem because the ground squirrels are going after and the moles are going after the grubs. And I haven't talked to them. I talked to Monty a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what they're gonna do about it. I know it's not our responsibility at all, but it's gonna take some major insecticide to get on top of those grubs. And I don't know if they have the funds for it. Gary, I don't know if you know they do or anything about it. I haven't talked to them about it. I wanted to bring it to your attention so that you know, for any ideas you guys might have or suggestions to help them, because they're gonna need help. I mean, it's just, you know, to treat that many acres for grubs is expensive, very expensive. You know what it is like in your yard.
Got a rough idea how many dollars?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't priced any grub control. We don't do it much out at the park. We're able to spot treat rather than treat the whole park. But I think this is a situation where we're gonna have to treat the whole park.
How many acres is
It's about 20 acres, maybe 15, 20. Just bring it to your attention. Think about it. We'll talk about it. I'll talk more with Monty and see what else we might be able to do. So, anyway, one other thing, I haven't got a report back from the construction people yet, so I'm just gonna bring it up here till there's a possibility that the water line to the annex, which goes to the courthouse, may be interrupted for about a week. That being said, I'm working on a deal with the city. Now, like I said, I haven't got final word. What the problem is, the foundation for the Sallyport goes down past water line going to the annex. It's right on top of it. What they're trying to talk the city into doing is allowing them to put a sleeve in there so that they don't have to move the water line. Otherwise, they'll have to cut the water line, lower it down underneath the footing and back up. And that would take about a week if they don't have to test it. So, in talking with them about what we can do, because we can't shut the courthouse down, they would bring in temporary facilities to be used and park them outside the courthouse so they'd be available for the public and the employees. That being said, there's some trials going on off now. We're gonna try to work around the trials, so we don't have an issue with that. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention in case it happens. I'll let you know if it does, if that's the way it's gonna be, but I'd rather you have knowledge so that so you don't get phone calls. That's it.
Can you give us we've got the courthouse changes on the agenda there. Can you kind of give us a brief summary of what each of those particular, one of them was the
Basement?
basement epoxy, and then the other one was the parking lot and retaining wall over by the annex.
Yeah. The basement wasn't gonna be painted, the walls down there, and they were gonna seal the floor. No, they weren't gonna seal the floor. The floor wasn't gonna be sealed, and they weren't gonna paint the walls. So I recommended that we see what it's gonna cost to do it, and to do it because it's hard to keep it clean. And there's gonna be some judges down there temporarily before they move over, so till their chambers and everything get done in the old building. So I recommended we paint it and seal the floor. I don't want to paint the floor because if you put carpet on it later on, they won't stick. So carpet will stick to sealer. So carpet glue will stick. So we're going to seal the floor, keep the dust down, paint it easy to clean, easy to maintain and keep clean. You know, you don't know when you're going to have to build a courtroom down there. So it'll be ready to go when you're ready, when the court is ready to build a courtroom.
And the issue was because when we are complete with the addition, the judges will move their offices over into the addition while we are remodeling the old courthouse. So they will probably have to have some office space down in that
Right.
area, and it wouldn't be fair to them to have it not clean and dusty and so
Yeah,
forth.
there will be a working bathroom down there, but, because that's already down there, and they're gonna paint that anyway, so just as well paint the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay?
And then the other one was the retaining wall and the
The
concrete.
retaining wall and the additional concrete. Bo contacted me about the concrete around the annex building, excuse me. And he said, where do we start and stop? Because we got so many broken pieces of concrete. And so I showed him where I think they ought to stop with the concrete. And we outlined it. And then there's a sidewalk that runs along there that is hazardous and needs to be replaced. So I says, let's replace that sidewalk. And that way, when they do the parking lot, the sidewalk will be all right, you know, and they can just build onto it. But that sidewalk needs to be done because people walk on it.
And particularly going into the Veteran Service Office, that area, people are going to be possibly using walkers and that kind of thing too.
And the other thing is, on the Sallyport coming out, the original drawing wasn't allowing enough room, or barely enough room, that you could do it, I guess. But it takes some jockeying around with a van. We have 22 to 24 feet long vans, and the curve coming out of and the slope wasn't allowing the van a very easy exit out of the Sallyport. So we're gonna widen that out, and that way it'll give a lot of room so the van can get up, turn out, and get square with the gate and go right on through the gate without hitting either side and without running into it, and into the wall itself. So that other change order represents that.
Okay.
Any questions?
All right, I need a motion to approve change orders number 8, which is the CP 20 and 21.
Yeah, I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes? Motion carried.
5.
Oh, I'm sorry, five, sorry.
Okay,
I'm turning in a tree grant before the end of March, for about 100 trees for the park. It'll be a reimbursable grant, and we'll probably do the work this fall. So we'll have to probably budget that so that we can be reimbursed. I'll also be later on this summer, I'm working on it right now, a grant for the playground equipment, which is also reimbursable, but I just wanted to bring you up to date on that.
okay, thanks, Lynn.
Yep.
All right,
While we're there, Ron, if you don't mind, I'd make a motion to receive the change order report and the courthouse expenditure report.
I'll second.
all in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes.
5.
Five yes.
They voted yes.
They voted yes on the change order report, yeah.
It's
Okay.
just a report.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
No.
We're gonna have a
No,
committee.
well,
all right.
Mr. Chairman, if you want to do your.
Yeah, let's do the number 9 just real quick. Discussion possible action to advertise open position for the weed board.
A couple weeks ago, or 10 days ago, one of our longstanding weed board members, Mr. Francis Hannon, passed away. And right now we have a vacant position on the weed board. I do believe since we have a weed board currently, it is our duty to advertise and appoint a new member of that. So I would make a motion that we advertise for the open position on the Hall County Weed Board.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. And then Gary, I think you wanted to talk just a little bit to address.
Yeah. For Hall County, I feel that the Hall County Weed Authority Board is an antiquated form of government. Currently, when we do budgets, they do a budget, we do the same budget over. 2012, we ran an election and abolished the Weed Authority Board and turned it over to the Hall County Board. It'd be similar to what we do with Board of Corrections or Board of Equalization, whatever we'd said here as a board. But we both do budgets. One thing, if it came back to this board, we'd have 7 board members instead of 5. They wouldn't have to be elected. The meeting would be televised. We've got probably one of the best weed superintendents in Nebraska, Rob Schultz. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now is we have 2 of them that are up for election this coming year. And if we're gonna make an appointment, I think it would only be fair that if we would vote, and we can't do it today, we'd probably put it on in 2 weeks. If we were to do this now, 3 of the 5 board members would know there's a possibility that the board would be abolished at the beginning of the year. And I'm bringing this up at this time. We still have to advertise for at least the rest of the year, but I'd like to see it put on the ballot, or put it on the agenda in 2 weeks of possibly abolishing the Hall County Weed Authority Board.
And just to tag along with that, of the individuals who are up for re-election this year, I do believe I think both of them forgot to actually get registered. And the same issue happened a couple of years ago. Forgive me, but it has not been a huge priority for the members of the Weed Board Authority being on the Weed Authority Board.
And you attend the meeting?
I attend the meetings, and I do believe there are some efficiencies that can be gained from not having that meeting every month.
and it could be handled here.
Oh, and then there's $3,000 a year in per diems that are paid to the board members, and then They usually get mileage, and then if there's any training or whatever, and this way, this board and the public can know probably a little bit more what's going on.
Good for that in a couple weeks.
Okay,
Could you put that on the agenda for in 2 weeks, Marla?
okay. I would entertain a motion to go into the Board of Corrections.
So moved with a roll call, please.
Second.
Sorry, roll call.
Call the roll.
Karen Bredbauer.
Yes.
Butch Hurst. Pam Lancaster.
Yes.
Gary Klein.
Yes.
Ron Peterson. You're here. Jane Richardson. And Scott Sorensen.
Yes.
Yes.
I know.
I'm responding to
He's got
an email from Christie regarding why she wasn't here. She didn't see it was on the agenda, so.
Well, it was on.
I don't know. I'm going to stop up and see her after the meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Tomorrow.
You're all set?
Morning.
Do we need a motion to approve the minutes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we are noticing the open meeting law. That's a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. Requirements for an open meeting are posted on the door on my left, and notices are on the front table for your information. We have verified the affidavit of publication. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 10th.
I'll move we approve the minutes of the February 10th Sauk County Board of Corrections meeting.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Public participation, commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items under the Board of Corrections. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address the Board of Corrections under public participation? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Correction Director's report.
Okay, excuse me, counts this morning are at 234. That includes 88 U.S. Marshals, 11 immigration, 1 from other counties, and 14 from probation. 134 is our local numbers right now, so. Otherwise, all I want to just give you is a little bit of updates on the couple things we got going on. The chiller, she sent me just this morning, a schedule of the chiller project. March 30th, they hope to be started to pour the concrete pad for the new chiller. April 8th is when the chiller actually ships, and then we'll see the chiller project, them installing piping and stuff like that between the April 13th and May 4th. Hopefully by May 4th, it looks like. They say, I'm not sure exactly what she means by it, but startup first chiller May 4th, startup second chiller May 18th. So the way they're doing this is they're actually pouring it in just a slightly different location from the old one, which allows them to use the old one as the sort of keep it running while they're getting the rest of it done. So it eliminates a bunch of costs for temporary chillers, which is pretty costly. So
Awesome.
otherwise, we had our pre-bid conference for the HVAC system. We had 11 different people show up. They represented, I believe, there's a lot of different companies here, but there's a lot of them are subcontractors, so I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like about 4 or 5 different potential bidders in that. Some of these subcontractors, I think, can go, they could potentially work with multiple bidders. I'm not sure though, but anyway, that's so talking to Greg yesterday or last week for a little while, He was expecting somewhere between 2 and 4 bids on it, just depends on how that goes.
Okay, thank you.
Other than that, I guess we'll open the bids at the next meeting and go from there.
Okay,
Sounds good. Sounds like we've got
all right.
some interest.
Is there anything, any other new or unfinished business?
Oh, I did want to mention something too. We did have a bit of a mechanical issue at the, over last weekend. We had or the previous weekend before last, was, had a leak spring in our fire suppression system. It was like about 4 o'clock on a Friday. Was that about the best time for those to happen, I guess? So we had to get, and it was down at the end of the jail in our female units, same ones that had the heating and air conditioning problem too. But it's so we had to actually get them there right away to get the leak fixed immediately. I mean, we can't just shut it down. We shut down the fire suppression system. We shut the whole thing down, so we can't operate for a whole weekend without that. So we had to get them in there and get the leak fixed. We had to close that unit down for a while because fortunately it was in that minimum security unit, which actually has drywall up above the bathroom shower area, which allows it way easier to get to that and fix it, because cutting out drywall is a lot easier than cutting out chunks of concrete. So, but it's kind of another indication of some of our systems are getting old, and it's hopefully it doesn't continue down that road. And there's really no way of knowing that it's going to until it does. I mean, you can't look at the pipes from the inside. So anyway, just to let you know that. But we got it taken care of, but it's getting back opened up now.
Can I just mention the fact that I think some of the unsung heroes out at the corrections facility is our maintenance department.
Oh, yeah.
They are really, really on top of things. They're very good. When things happen, they report this. You can't, it's like a mother, you can't be everywhere. So
Yeah, right.
anyway, so they created maintenance departments and they do a fabulous job.
Yeah.
So I think it's important. We've got a lot of unsung heroes out there, in my estimation. But we rarely support or say something nice, and I just want to make sure that the public knows and that the board's aware of the fact that our maintenance people are outstanding.
Yeah, you look at Paul Wagner. He keeps talking about retiring here before too long. And he's got experience with HVAC systems. He does a lot of the basic maintenance around there on that kind of stuff, and the keys and the locks and stuff like that. We're getting some other people trained in that to do that. But he's got that. When he goes, a lot of knowledge is going to go out the door with him. So.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you bet.
Paul Wagner's one of those people who can fix anything.
Yeah.
Okay. We adjourn the Board of Corrections, go back into the Board of Commissioners. Let's do, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, can we revisit number 9 real quick? I'd like to make an amendment to my motion on the advertising for the open position to have it also state that interviews for appointment will begin on April 7th for the county board.
Okay, is there a second?
It's a good idea. Second?
All in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes on the
Okay, let's do committee or board member reports. That'd be the last item before our closed session. Any?
Mr. Chairman, last week we had another meeting with the Planning Commission regarding rural housing, trying to go over some parameters for how to move forward. And I thought the last meeting was a little more productive than the first one. We are contemplating the idea of utilizing a matrix format to help us use a point system to determine whether or not a project is more or less suitable to move forward in the county versus it coming down to a split vote in case one of the members of our commission is gone. just to hopefully make that a little bit easier, but I felt that's kind of moving in the right direction. And we have another meeting tomorrow. Hopefully we'll finalize that to hopefully bring back a recommendation for this board and move forward. So I thought overall it's moving in the right direction.
I'm gonna chime with Scott on that. I listened to it, and I think that it is moving in the right direction. And it's going to be a lot like the livestock zoning matrix that, you know, we eliminated a lot of potential meetings that were very out of order. And anyway, this helped us years ago, and Dick Hartman was really instrumental on getting this changed, and it has worked since then. So I think that this is a great starting forward, and I really was amazed at it. It was the new planning commissioner, Keith Ostermeyer, and then Carl Quant were very thought process thinking on this matrix. And I think it is going to be really something that will work and moving forward. Also then, I don't know if anybody was looking at the legislature, and Tanya Shore implemented LB 663, which is kind of an interesting new law that the governor did sign into effect here. It will require the county attorney, each member of the county planning commission, and each member of the county board in counties with zoning regulations to complete a 2 hours of education per term on topics related to their zoning responsibilities. Research has indicated that in some cases, county officials lack significant familiarity with zoning statutes, their proper applications. By requiring targeting education, LB 663 strengthens both the integrity and the permitting process and effectiveness of local decision-making. It goes on to say with this that when a conditional use permit comes in, we have to do it in a timely manner. And we're going to have documentation where in the past, when we've had some contentious conditional use permits coming forward to the board and our boardroom has filled, we're going to have documentation, because if we deny that due to the majority in the room, from what I understand, we're going to have very good documentation, or if we deny it, they can sue us. This has kind of opened a door that may be very interesting. And I'm going to have Chad Navity come to us in 2 weeks and explain this better, because this is interesting on this new legislation that I don't quite understand it, but that's the way I understand it.
So per term, you said, 2 hours
Per term. So you could do it the last week before you leave your office.
Why would I do
And that's what I think is odd.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd too.
So you mean per 4-year term?
Yeah,
2
that's the way I
hours
understand it.
Per 4-year term.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
It's not very often.
but, you know, the interesting thing is we can do it
15
online.
minutes.
And so I thought, you know, maybe we should bring it into the board and do like maybe an hour during one of our Board of Equalizations or something like that, bring it in and have it virtual, and we start watching it to be able to be credited.
You know NACO will probably step in and give you a lot of assistance with that.
Well, but,
They'll have a lot of
Yeah.
options.
yeah, but you know,
First of
the
all, it's already
interesting
passed,
thing,
so-
Yeah, it's just proposed.
Yeah.
I
no,
read it.
it's been signed by the
Oh,
governor.
it has been signed?
It's
Okay.
signed by the governor.
Oh, okay. I
This
read
is
it
law.
before.
Passed.
Yeah.
It passed.
Oh, okay.
This
I
is
missed
signed
that
by the
part.
governor.
I
Okay.
didn't realize that. I read
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no,
either.
no, this is a fact. That's what shocked the heck out of me. This is passed. And what else was it that was really interesting on this? The Platt Institute was the one who was instrumental. Platt compiled all its findings and comprehensive reporting examining to the Nebraska permitting framework and highlighting the needs for greater clarity and uniformity. The research was first presented to key stakeholders at the Platt Legislative Summit in Lincoln on October 30th of 2025 during a roundtable discussion organized by the Platt and the Senator Shore participants, including producers, policy makers. Clear conclusion: the lack of consistency across counties was discouraging investment and creating avoidable obstacles for agricultural growth. I mean, this is all the plan.
Well, let's have Chad come to the
Yeah,
next
I
meeting.
mean, it's
explain it.
Somebody had a
entertaining.
conditional use permit denied, and they,
Yeah.
next year.
That's right.
a lot of legislation.
Yeah, I'm not making this up.
Okay, is there anything else?
Yeah, the only other thing would be, we did have a meeting. We had representation from Marty and myself and the extension, and College Park came. And I think we may be getting closer to reaching some sort of understanding. They do need to supply us with documentation so we can go forward. But I think we're all on the agreement that we're gonna try and work it out between parties.
Okay, Jane?
I had a Humane Society meeting yesterday, and the fur ball is not this Saturday, a week from this Saturday on the 21st at Riverside. That's their primary fundraiser for the year. And I'm selling raffle tickets if anybody would like to buy one for $10. Goes to a very good cause. I have had a lot of calls about calls about Veterans Park. Gary, I don't know if you've heard about this, the flag at Veterans Park. People are upset that there's no flag up. I directed them to Mike Pawnee. They go, we've talked to him. He said it's way too expensive. Anyway, there's a man in my district that lives on Voss Road that's very upset and kind of spearheading this.
I believe it's David Eno.
Okay.
And I was contacted and I got a hold of him, and it was one of those deals, kill the messenger.
Yeah.
So it wasn't,
So you killed him?
no, the bullseye was on me, so.
All right. Okay.
So you're,
People are very, very upset that it's not up because of our veterans that are losing their lives overseas and
that they can only fly it 4 times a year.
the
I'm just
weather hasn't
passing
been
on
that bad, but
Okay.
I don't understand it, but that they say they don't put the big flag up in the winter time. Well, it has been winter for quite a while, and there's a lot of people that are upset. Look what they're,
There's a lot.
A big town like Grand Island, and we can't put that big flag up. Look what they're doing for the lady in Ord that her son lost her son, and what they did for the courthouse and things like that. I don't know. I'm not very happy about the whole situation. Our veterans deserve better.
Pam?
There, and I totally agree with everything that's been said. There's a cost, there's a responsibility for everything, so we have to, let's
But they were.
hear
they
them
were-
out.
they
But
were-
I agree.
They
I'm
were
not
told
arguing.
if they come up with the $275, they'd put the flag up. Well, guess what? They come up with the money and it didn't get put up.
Oh, and see, those are the details we don't know, so. Anyway, thank you very much, both of you, for bringing it forward. Okay, quickly, my part, had a Convention and Visitors Bureau meeting. The biggest part of the meeting, the discussion was regarding, of course, the cattle shows. We're moving forward. I want everybody to know that Grand Island Hall County is open for business when it comes to these cattle shows. We plan to move forward, we've got them, whatever. Yes, there's a concern with funding. They are working very, very hard on short-term and then long-term fixes. They think they've got some of it resolved, but the county isn't really involved. I mean, except for the fact that I'm bringing you the message and anybody who wants to listen to our meeting. But we are open for business. We're not halting our cattle shows. I mean, this is a big deal. The other thing, and this is from me, and I made the point at the CVB and said, what people really don't understand is that all that goes on out there on Fauner Park's land isn't a moneymaker for Fauner Park. Years and years ago, Fauner Park was the entity, whatever. Now it's not that way. You've got buildings that belong to the city of Grand Island. You've got the State Fair. You've got the county fair is in there at some point. There's so many other things that are going on. And, one of the complaints or a concern, I should say, that was voiced to some members of the CVB was that when they went out, the parking lot is full. And I said, yay for us. I'm pleased that the parking lot, I mean, I'm sure that the casino has something to do with that. I mean, I don't go out and count the cars or check the license plates, but I want the world to know we're open for business. We have not halted anything. I think there was kind of maybe a misunderstanding. Yeah, we've got some work to, or whoever, like I said, the county, when I say we, the county isn't directly financially involved with that. Since we don't have a revenue stream as a result of it, I think this board, I think that was kind of the discussion around this board, that, but we probably aren't part of the revenue source, but, or we are not part of the source because we don't receive any revenue. But from the CVB standpoint, Grand Island, Hall County's open for business, so I want you to know that. It was a colorful meeting, it was a fun meeting, so thank you.
Okay. I would entertain a motion that we go into closed session for the purpose of discussion of healthcare.
I would make the motion.
All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand. Okay? All right, we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll, Gary,
Gary made a motion to go out and I second, I'm sorry.
all in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Coming out of a closed session, we have not discussed anything, a subject other than the purpose of the executive or closed session. No votes were taken, no action was taken. We do have an action item to come out.
Yes. I would like to make a motion that we direct our health insurance plan to work with the employee to cover the cost of the prescription in question.
Second.
Any further discussion? Please vote. All in favor, raise your right hand.
7 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, we will direct them at the meeting tomorrow.
Perfect.
And these are the times.
Thank you very much.
Is there any other issues to be brought before the Board of Commissioners today? Seeing none, we are adjourned.